Hello friends, welcome back to our little coffee club. Today I want to recap my experience so far with the Hawaiian coffees. As you guys have seen in the last few videos, I've been playing around with coffees from Kona, from Maui, and from Kau. Today I just want to kind of report back and tell you what I've been able to get from these coffees so far. So I have to say that the coffee from Kona so far has been like kind of last place, very unexpected. It is like the most famous one. So I was expecting to have liked maybe that one the most, but it turned out to be, at least in my experience and the way I've been brewing them, so far I gotta say the Kona's like in last place. In the middle, I thought the Maui coffee is a bit better, but very similar to the Kona. In my experience, both of those coffees, you kind of have to brew them a little bit faster than I would normally. And I do have to say that both of them, I haven't been able to get a lot of highs and lows. They're just very smooth, very easy to drink. You do get a little bit of acidity and sweetness, but not very peaky. The depth of flavor is not, there's not a lot there, They're just very easy to drink coffees. I think for somebody just starting out in the whole specialty coffee thing, maybe they're good choices. Because they're not gonna you're not gonna taste them and be like, whoa, what's going on here? So in that sense, maybe they're great coffees for somebody that, that's what they're looking for. They want just something easy to drink, very smooth, and not very peaky. Now, if you guys saw when I first reviewed the Kau, I said, wow, wait a minute, this one's way different. And although on that first brew, I did not get the most out of it, I do have to say that coffee is better than just good. I'm gonna say that coffee is great. Now, it is quite different than the one I brought back from Seattle, which was also a Kau. And that one was just, that one was very smooth and very sweet. One of the sweetest coffees I've tried. And in that sense, it was great, But sometimes you want something that gives you a little bit more punch, a little bit more acidity. It has the brightness that you're looking for. And that's what this Kau has been able to give me. Now, I do have to say that so far, my most surprising, let's call it surprising, my most surprising experience with it was when I brewed it on the triclet. I ground it at a kind of typical setting for me on the triclet. I think I was somewhere around 7. I don't remember. I think I was at 7. And I did my normal kind of agitation. And, it took really long to brew. It was like 8 minutes, like an 8-minute brew, okay? It was 18 grams in, 320 grams out. So I think that's like a 1 to 15.5 or something like that. Anyway, I'll put the ratio right here on the screen. And I do have to say that it was very surprising. I got a lot of sweetness out of it, but also brightness and acidity. So that's when I really was able to stretch it out the most and get the most highs and lows, which you guys know I really appreciate. So yeah, as far as tasting notes, I gotta say, I even wrote it down. I got some flavors that really reminded me of orange soda. Okay, that's what I wrote down. Wow, it tastes like orange soda because there was some citrus, there was acidity, but very sweet. And I remember in the tasting notes of that coffee. As a matter of fact, let me get it and read the tasting notes. All right, I'm back. So that one I kept in this little container. And like I told you guys before, always make a note or somehow mark it because you will forget what's in there. So in a lot of cases, if it fits, I'll just put the little bag that the coffee comes into, I'll put it in the little canister. So let me get my glasses. All right, here we go. Let's read the tasting notes. So remember, I said orange soda. That's what I wrote down. Let's see. I don't remember at all. Okay, so this one is, like I said, the Kau. They call it Morning Glory. And it's a medium light. All 3 coffees were medium light. Okay, so they put pecans, brown sugar, apricot, vanilla, citrus bright, buttery sweet. Okay, so now I remember when I first tried it, I said the buttery sweet, that's kind of like what I was gonna get on board with because I wasn't getting a lot of the other tasting notes. Now, when I got it from the triplet, what came to mind was orange soda. So, you know, the sweetness, and it says citrus bright. So, you know, you put one and one together with the brown sugar, maybe you get orange soda. At least that's what I got from it. I'm not getting a lot of nuttiness. There is a hint when you make it as espresso. So as espresso, it's a little bit more peaky. You get a little more highs and lows. I do have to say, this coffee is great. I'm gonna put it up there with the one from Ritual, the one I brought back from the Bay Area. The coffee from Ritual, wow, very good as espresso and filtered. And I have to say, this one, same thing. You won't be disappointed with this coffee. So again, Big Island Coffee Roasters from Hawaii, the cow coffee, medium light. Don't sleep on that one. Try it out. So I gotta say, the other two, you know, I haven't been able to get anything so memorable from it. But this one, I do have to say, man, wow, really good. Okay, so if you want something like really sweet and less brightness, maybe give the triplet a shot, brew it for like 7 minutes, something like that, kind of a long brew time. Hot water, go real hot. That's another thing, you know, on the other two, you want to brew them fast and not so hot. And you'll get some brightness out of it and you'll get some acidity out of it. No matter what I've tried so far, I've never got the level of sweetness that I got from this one. So from this one, you can get the sweetness and the brightness. And the other ones, if you brew it kind of fast, don't brew it too hot, you'll get some brightness out of it. And the origami, it was bright and, you know, very tasty, but not a whole bunch of sweetness. There's a hint, you know, there's a hint there, but again, very smooth coffees, easy to drink, all three of them, but definitely this one is the peakiest, the one that you get the most out of, the one with the most depth of flavor, and just, to me, it was just by far the best of the three. But way different, and you know, as soon as I tried it, I was like, wow, this one's way different. I'm still saying this one's way different. You'll get the most out of this one, and you get the most highs and lows, different taste profile. The other ones are, you know, just like very gentle flavors and maybe a little fruitiness or something like that, but maybe some hint of berries or something like that. But on this one, it does have that citrus note. It does give you some kind of like orange. And again, you know, if you get it sweet enough, be on the lookout for the orange soda. That's what I'm gonna call it, and that's what I'm sticking to. Anyway, today we're gonna do a blooming espresso with it. You guys have seen me time after time do the Slayer shot. The blooming espresso is very similar in my understanding and the research I've done. But here's the thing, on the Slayer shot, you kind of keep the pressure on, and the pressure, you want to keep it at around between 2 and 3 bar, and keep that from somewhere between 20 and 40 seconds. And then you ramp up to 9 bars for another 20 to 40 more seconds. You know, that's your typical Slayer shot. On the blooming espresso, you want to completely saturate the puck and get first drip. Okay, so as soon as you get first drip, then you kind of cut the flow out. You can't stop the pump, okay? But if you have a machine that you can keep the pump running and cut the flow somehow, or you don't want to completely drop the pressure to the puck. That's the thing. So maybe if you can cycle your pump off and on somehow to keep a little bit of pressure in there, and you don't, you know, the coffee just doesn't flow back, then it might work. Okay, so but again, I don't know too much about that. But in my machine, in the Bianca, you can just, you know, turn off the paddle and the flow will stop, but the pressure stays there because the pump is still on. And if you want a little more pressure, you can always, you know, play with that and open it a little bit. I haven't tried a blooming espresso. This is the very first time I'm gonna try it today with this coffee. And we'll see if there's any difference. I don't expect any difference in taste between the blooming espresso and the Slayer shot. We'll see what I get out of it today. So here's the idea. I'm gonna fully saturate the puck, and as soon as I start getting the first couple drips, I'll turn the paddle completely off. I'm gonna wait 30 seconds and then I'll ramp up to 9 bars, hopefully for around another 30 seconds or so. 18 grams in, 45 grams out, a 1 to 2.5 ratio. That's what we're looking for. Let's see how it works out. Okay, so anyway, blooming espresso. Let's get to the other counter and do some pot prep. All right, I'm still kind of playing around with this ambience and this kind of feel. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I don't know, we'll see. All right, so let's dose out our 18 grams. You know, today I have the Akaya out, but I didn't think of it. But today I'm not gonna be able to use the automatic espresso mode because since I want to get first drip and then stop the flow, you know, any espresso mode is just gonna stop because there's no more flow. So today I'm gonna have to start and stop the scale myself. So I'll just use this one. Okay, another thing is, I think last time we brewed this coffee as espresso, I think I was at 15. Today I'm gonna go to 16, which is quite coarse. Okay, it's quite coarse. Of course, we're gonna check for the channeling. From here on out, we're just gonna use the bottomless. You know what I didn't even want to do in the beginning, but we're gonna go ahead and just use the bottomless portafilter. It's a lot more fun. I do see where you guys are enjoying it. I've gotten some good feedback, and you know, moving forward, I think it is more fun. You guys know that I am on the lookout for the perfect tamping station. Eventually, I'm just gonna have to buy whatever because I don't think I'm ever gonna find it, but we'll see, we'll see. All right, so this is dry. Let me lock it back in. Okay, want to keep that nice and hot. So let's dose out our 18 grams. All right, here we go. $17.8, $17.9. We might go over a little bit, but yeah, we're in between 18 and 18.1. All right, let me set the niche at grind setting 16. All right, we're at 16. Let's see what we get from the niche today. Okay, I think we got everything through. Let's see what we got. All right, so we were at 18.1, we're at 18 now, so that's perfect. You guys know how I do it. 0.1, 0.2, I just don't worry about it. Okay, so we have our 18 grams. Start by declumping in the little cup. You guys know how I've been doing that. It's been working, so why not? It's quick and easy. Again, you might want the long needles for that. Okay, our portafilter's nice and dry. Okay, so we're at 16, so that's a bit coarse. Let's see how this looks in here. Ah, it's nice and flat. Good job today. Okay, get our dosing funnel. And now we do some WDT with a nice pasado tool, nice thin needles. Okay, as far as WDT, I think it's pretty much a must. It's something you definitely want to do. Do you need a fancy WDT like this one? No, definitely not. Just use any kind, just make sure you're doing some WDT. So the main thing you want to do here is, if you already declumped the coffee, or you don't have any clumps to begin with, then great. Then all you want to do is just make sure everything, the density is distributed evenly everywhere in the portafilter. So take your time with it. Again, do circles, start on the bottom and start coming up. All right, now tap it into place a little bit. It ends up something like this. It's very nice and even and flat. Okay. And now we tamp. Today I'm gonna tamp with the Lelit tamper. It's just easier for me. Then what I like to do is, kind of like with 4 points, kind of go around the rim here, make sure that it's nice and even everywhere. And as a matter of fact, today I didn't do a great job, so I do have to say. But now it's nice and even. You can always adjust it a little bit. Then a little polish, just so that you don't bring a lot of coffee up. When you're doing that little polish, you don't press down anymore. All right, it's way in there, although we're at 16, but overall the puck prep looks nice. Let's see. Again, our puck screen. I think a puck screen, now that I have one and I've been using it every time, wow, it's definitely a must. It doesn't affect your shot in any way as far as flavor or anything, but wow, it definitely helps your machine to stay clean. Your puck never sticks to the group head there, to the shower screen. So it just, to keep things tidy is a must. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer, set up all the angles, and then we'll pull our shot. Okay, so as I was setting up all the cameras and all the angles, the machine timed out. Besides, I'm gonna unlock this because I wanna run it anyway for a few seconds to get some of the hot water out. I've been remembering that pretty much every time now. I know it's good practice. I'm not sure what it does, but. All right, so we're gonna start at 5 o'clock like we usually do. Okay, so I ran it for a second. Now let's lock back in. Okay, so we're locked and loaded here, and in a second we'll start our shot. Let me get the scale up there. I've never used this big scale up here, but it should work just fine. Get my shot glass. All right, the cup is covering just a little bit. Okay, this scale being a little bit taller than the other one, I think this is like the best I could do, guys. I'm gonna have to go with that placement. I know that the cup is covering a little bit of the bottom of the portafilter there, but we're gonna have to roll with that. All right, so let's start the scale. Again, I'm gonna have to, as soon as I get first drip, I'm going to start the timer. The machine will have like the time that the entire time of the shot, the entire time the machine is running. But keep in mind that for 30 seconds, the machine thinks it's pulling a shot, but it's not, there's no flow. So I'm not sure if I'm explaining that properly, but anyway, let's start the shot. Now what I want to do is, as soon as I get first drip, start my time and cut off the flow. Okay, I want to stop at around 3 bar. Right there. And wait for first drip. Well, I'm at 16 and this coffee is like really... Okay, I'm gonna start, cut off the flow and start the time. Now we're gonna wait 30 seconds. You see the pressure it's kind of ramping down on its own, and that's what's supposed to happen. When you do the blooming espresso, that's what's supposed to happen. Okay, so now we're at 30 seconds. We're gonna go to 9 bars. Hopefully we'll be at 9 bars for about another 30 seconds. Again, we're looking for a yield of 45 grams. All right, so we ended up at 45 and like pretty much 45 and a half grams, 45.6. Again, the scale is reading all the way to like a minute 20, something like that. This one like 100 seconds, pretty much. But like 30 of those seconds, we were just basically, doing our pre-infusion. Even more than 30 because we didn't get first drip for like another 10, 15 seconds. So anyway, I'm not sure if this is picture perfect, but I'm willing to say that we're pretty close, pretty darn close. This is a blooming espresso, pretty much the way it's supposed to be. Let's give it a taste, and I have a feeling I'm gonna really enjoy this. So let's get back to the other counter. All right, so it's had a chance to cool a little bit while I was cleaning up and setting things up. I wanna give it a little stir because it's been sitting around for a little bit. Still quite hot. These little crew shot glasses, they have little winglets where you could swirl the coffee and it stirs it up for you. But when it's been sitting around for, for a little while, I like to give it a good stir. All right, let's see what we got. Our first blooming espresso. Cheers. I was expecting less brightness, more sweetness. But no, I'm somewhere in the middle. All right, give it another taste test. I do see where this coffee has the little hint of citrus. If you want something that's gonna give you both acidity, a hint of citrus, and some good sweetness, that coffee is pretty wonderful. I do have to say, I'm gonna put it up there with some of the other great ones. It's funny how this one separated itself from all the other Hawaiian coffees that we tried. Wow, so far, the cow coffees, man, I gotta say, they got something going on over there. It's the volcanic soil. Wow, definitely a lot of flavor here. So far in the Slayer shots, I think I've gotten the coffee a little bit sweeter. So, between the blooming espresso and the Slayer shot, kind of the same thing if you ask me. Very similar. Not a whole lot in the aroma after you brew it. All these coffees smell very good in the bag. When you first open the bag, wow, I got really hit with a lot of wonderful aroma. And when you grind it, still also. But after you brew it, it's not a lot of aroma, not a lot there. The Maui one had the most as far as aroma after you brewed it. Yeah, but this coffee is very flavorful. You're gonna get a lot here. A lot of depth of flavor. A lot. This one will give you some highs and lows. The hint of citrus. Oh, I checked when I was cleaning up. Now I always look at the counter, see if I spot any little signs of channeling. I didn't see anything at all. There was no signs of channeling on the scale, on the machine, on the counter, anywhere. So it looks like I've been able to do pretty well as far as getting to control the channeling. So I think what I'm gonna challenge myself next time, I think we're gonna do one of the darker rolls, which we just ramp up to the 9 bars. We brew the coffee quite fast for maybe like 30 seconds. Also remember with those darker rolls to always lower the temperature. If not, you're gonna get that bitterness. So yeah, I think next time, on the next video, maybe that's what I'm gonna do, is brew one of the, we'll make a milk-based drink. We haven't done that in a little while, so we'll make a cappuccino. But I wanna brew a darker roast, brew it fast like we were doing before, maybe like 30 seconds, something like that, just go straight to the 9 bars. And we'll see if we get channeling then, because the only time that I've seen like obvious channeling, and even at that, it was very quick and very, very little, but was on those darker rolls when I brewed it really fast. So I'm gonna try that again, and I'm gonna use both needles like I've been doing. I'm gonna do the long needles in the cup, and then I'll use the thin needles in the portafilter and do my puck prep like I've been doing all these last few times, and see if we get any channeling on a fast shot, coarsely ground coffee. And we'll try with either the Neapolitan or the liquid amber, and we'll make a cappuccino. But for today, hopefully, I think this will end up being one of my shorter videos, being that we only pulled 1 shot, but sad to see you go, buddy. Yeah, this one gives you a lot, for sure. A lot of flavor. Definitely some highs and lows. Now for somebody just getting started in this, the Kona and the Maui are actually maybe, easier to appreciate maybe. I don't know if that's the word. I can't think of the word, but they're just, a lot smoother. There's not a lot going on, so it's just more like regular coffee like. So it's not gonna hit you with a lot of brightness. It's just for somebody just starting in specialty coffee and the lighter roast and all this kind of stuff. Start with those. This one will wow you, and it might be a bit too much. So I hope I was able to keep you guys company for a little while here. I hope you brewed something tasty with me. Next time, we'll try to do that next time. We'll use darker roast, we'll make a cappuccino. We'll pull a fast shot, coarsely ground. I'll try like the Neapolitan, I'll grind it at 16 and ramp straight up. I'm guessing right now that we're not even gonna hit 9 bars. We might, but we might not. We might be like an 8-bar shot, something like that. Because when you grind coarse and the coffee's flowing fast, you just don't build enough pressure. But we'll see, because the main thing is we want to look for that channeling, and we'll want to see if maybe that's when you have to be careful on the channeling. Okay, when you grind coarse and when you brew the shot fast, that's when you're likely to get the channeling. We'll see if I can keep it under control. But so far I've been able to avoid a big mess in my kitchen. Hopefully it stays that way. I hope I was able to keep you company here for a little while. You guys know how I appreciate you a whole bunch. You guys are my little coffee family. I love hearing from you guys. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought. Have you guys tried the Slayer shot, or have you tried the blooming espresso? Do you guys like those long shot times, or are you more like Kyler Kill and want to keep the shots short always and get all the brightness and all the colors of the espresso and all the tasting notes, and you're willing to deal with all the acidity if need be? So for me, I'd rather, cut out some of the acidity, get the coffee sweeter, get it to some kind of balance. Everybody has their balance that they enjoy. So it's your coffee, make it your way, enjoy it, keep it fun for sure. This should be a very therapeutic thing that you do every morning and kind of puts you in the right mindset for the rest of the day. In my case, is usually also my pre-workout, and then I hit the gym. So keep it fun and lively and make it your way. Anyway, I hope I was able to keep you guys company here for a little while. Please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys next week.